Testing. Alright, welcome to episode 22 of Beauty Magazine and Chambers Publishing Company present Granville, a Styled Hair Story. The main objective is to have... I've got all kinds of characters in a small town salons, you know, different salon owners and stylists that all kind of went to the same school. And this particular one in 1998 that's got a teal smock on has a day, you know, on June 8th, a Monday in 1998. Just before the high school graduates and all that. She goes in on her day off to let a handyman do an estimate. And because she shows up there, people see that she's there. They end up calling, coming in. She ends up having a full day of appointments on her off day. Or walk-ins. I mean, one person calls, the other ones kind of walk in. But the things that happen in those visits kind of, you know, awaken some things in her. And one thing leads to another. She goes and visits another friend who's a stylist, and some stuff happens. And out of this eventually comes the idea of making a hairstyle consultation style book. You know, like the one they're looking at in the picture, only better. More descriptive, more pictures, using actual clients, not just photos of models that model the look. And I want it to read like that, but also like a photo album. A family photo album. The town photo album. You know. So at some point, I'd like to get to that point. But it's also kind of like me writing a book, so I'm trying to fix the parts that I wrote and the parts that were written by the AI Claude in various sessions. I'm trying to fix what some of them wrote versus what I meant it to say. Some of the sessions have broken, so I've had to, you know, merge backup versions and new versions and try to figure out what I want it to be. At the same time, trying to get the thing to generate images to illustrate my story without having to make videos. Originally, I was making some videos, but they're really expensive and they don't come out the way I want them to. So it's just... this other project came from that. Now, let me type this stuff before I forget, because I'm just, like, kind of hovering over my keyboard over here. You know, I'd almost like to redo the thumbnail to mention that I'm kind of writing a story. The problem is if I tell him to mess with this image, the generator will screw it up royally. It won't have these images in it. Because every time you feed something to the image generator, it wants to redo it. I don't have a lot of time tonight because I have to work at 7 a.m. However, I only work for 4 hours tomorrow, and then I'm off on Thursday. So tomorrow and Thursday I'll have lots of time to stream. and I'm hoping I get through what I'm doing here, because I need to. So what I was doing a few minutes ago. When I was on my break at work, um, I was trying to get it to make some magazine covers. Uh, it's like a non-branded magazine from June '98. Uh, well, that's cool, but it's like they use words I didn't really, view. I like this, but is that the same dress or similar? It's similar. It's not the same. Um, Problem is like they're like I don't think the image is true magazine width, and like it doesn't read like a 8 by 11 or a 9 by 12, or it's like this is really skinny to me. Maybe if the thing were like cut off here, it would be a little better, but in the meantime, I got home and I'm like talking to this one about I'm trying to get. I don't want any of these brand names showing up, and it's pissing me off. No matter what I say, they still put some in, or at the very least there'll be like a piece of one that says Vogue, and the thing will go like that. We can see that looks like Vogue, and that probably would get flagged. And like, you're right, we don't want that. Anyway, that's kind of what I was making. Will you quit bothering me? Stupid Firefox, quit bothering me about your whatever the hell you got. I don't care. Look, they mess with the logo after all these years. So let's see, did you finish that? I had to tell him that because I previously showed an image with the asterisk, and it's possible that got flagged because they might think I'm trying to hide a swear word or something. So I just said, okay, we're going to put the Y in there. Or the YO. This is Ciaban Fires or Shobin or however anybody wants to say it, but I can't name her that. So I have to come up with a different name. And I change it to Paragonista just so it's a clean name, not real. And then in order to have a bride's or bridal magazine, I just Blondoria is the state or region. So it's named after the can of Wella Blondor bleach sitting next to me that's holding my coffee cup. No, dummy. Seriously, you're mixing things. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, he's got this here. All right, let me. And then I asked, give me some names that you know are not flaggable, that are not real world. So I can build around them. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is build a scene just for illustration via photograph purposes and not making a video, but I want to have a scene where Carol would be in the grocery store, perhaps walk buy the magazines, then one catches her eye and she picks it up. Then, you know, likes something. And the story builds from that. But without I mean, but that's what I'm talking about. I had to fix the building. You know, I had to do this to fix the window because it just wouldn't understand that I want this building is not that wide when you're on the inside. And then when we try to fix it, they change the way the parking lot is. They add a side street over here. You know, it's like, I don't want that crap. Don't change it. But it insists on changing things. And I can't get it to, like, consistently have the hair at a certain angle. I mean, a certain length. You know, I try to tell it, I want the bob cut shorter. But it won't listen and keep it at a certain length. You know, no matter how many times I say chin, it puts it below the chin further, below the shoulders. You know, it's like, you try to use a different word. It's putting it below the shoulders. It's putting it up by her ear. It's, you know, it don't want to frickin' listen. And it just, what the hell am I supposed to do? I don't want it to rebuild the room each time. That's the problem. I say, keep this, but rotate the camera. Hell, how many times I'm trying to build this, and it insists on putting the other version back on. I literally give it an image of what I want, and it will not repeat it. You know, it got this part right, but then it does this shit. I want this on both halves. This does not work. This will not close right. This would bump into these when they're closed. Or at least I'd imagine it would, unless they collapse all the way under this lid. But why would this? I mean, I suppose if I said, hey, give me an image of this one closed, maybe it could show me that that's how it's supposed to be. But it just... You know, the other thing, like, I showed it the image of my Sims 2 or Sims 3 version, and it insists on doing this crap. Like, you had it just right, except you had to put this tower in the middle. I cannot get it to listen to me. You know, and then Claude here has to tell the thing things that I didn't say to tell it. I'm like, Claude, let me tell it something. But, you know, and that's the thing. It does great work when it does it, but, you know, just I had to end up doing the fixes to this. I had to take this magazine, this picture, and put it on here myself, and then put her hand over the thing. Because the idea was, okay, they get her picture of her posing, holding something other than that, and then they really quick print out the cover, put it on that thing. That way she's holding the image that she's on. You know, but I had to do it. And then this was a nightmare. I tried to get this. Next thing I know, I'm like, that doesn't look like Venice, does it? Oh yeah, you're right, that is flaggable. We can't use Venice. They look too much like Venice. So I'm like, okay, give me a different version. Use a mix of buildings that wouldn't be just Venice. We ended up getting this thing. Oh, that looks too much like Dublin or somewhere in Ireland. God damn it, you know? So then I had this. Oh no, look, they're using like the Empire State Building back there. God damn it. This perfect image, but they put that back there, so he's flagging that. You know. And then I'm like, okay, well, how about she's standing in front of a river? With like any old like just small town buildings or something mixed into the trees. Instead, oh, look, something that looks like a castle back there. Oh, no, that's flaggable. So I had to go, so I'm in the middle of editing the thing out while it's making another version. And then we ended up doing the same. But, you know, here's this. So that's nice. This is the version we did have of this. But I asked to have it look like this since they're using this. And then that's now the Stephanie Forrester, not Foster, version. But when it did this, look at what it did to her. It's like it don't look like a black lady now. And then Brasida's still sitting in the stool, but it's a different version. You know, this is what we did have. I really like this one. Not that the other one's bad, I'm just, you know, this was really nice. And it inspired me to come up with the idea that maybe she was at like a banquet hall or something, and this was like a curtain between rooms or being used as a backdrop. Who knows what? But she's as a handy woman, maybe she just started her own business, and a friend that knows that she's into vintage stuff got her this stool to use for her break time or something. They just happen to put this in the picture. I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense. If she's, where would Beatrice have been to find her? Just kind of out in public. A banquet hall? It's either a birthday or something, but I don't know, just it's just the fact that we got that. But then the generator goes and does this to it. Like, oh, now she's on a stage. What is she, a comedian? And then it did this to Penny. Doesn't tell the story at all. Puts her in this thing, which, you know, we're not going for some lingerie-looking thing. I mean, that's more what Beth was wearing. Only it's not pink and purple. It doesn't tell the story of her getting into that black dress with the now floral instead of cherry print. First, I want to reiterate that the magazines are in or down the aisle and not at the end. Not the end cap. Not a display. They are in the aisle, and it should look like a display with at least 2 copies of each in the holders, you know, like not one issue or a thick one. I want reality here. You won't let me have real brand names and all that, but that's fine. But I want some goddamn magazines. I want them random. But I want, I don't want to have mine. But you force me into it. You force me into making up the names for everything. So goddamn it, we're gonna do it. And I'm sick and tired of spending money on these images to be disappointed. And then when we get something, he changes it in the next one. He being a generator. And then I get told, oh, that looks too much like real this or that or the other. Well, I didn't ask for that. We don't have to have a POV change. I just like to see her pick up a certain magazine. Not necessarily BeaYouty. I'm still working on it. But she might not be the type to usually look at magazines. I mean, she has a style and wears her nice red dress, but she may not maybe when she visits Heather previously, she'll browse some on the table. But today is different. Her mind is in a different mode. Oh, I'm not sure what you know so far of what Carol does after she leaves Heather's. I was writing that in another and as usual I'm having to recover the session. Basically, when she gets to the store, the plaza, it's 3 p.m. The time for the other events for the day shifted. She arrived at Heather's closer to noon. Dave, she calls him to see when he is done at work because his schedule varies and he does the odd handy jobs. I'm just gonna have to give him the screen, the beats. No, not that one. Let me one moment. I don't know if anybody's watching, but 1 second. I want to make sure that you all can't see this. If they've got the spoiler on here. Yep, they've got the spoiler. I got because it's really pissing me off. I had this whole thing. I said, look, this is what's going to happen, but don't put it in the beat. What did it do? It put it in the damn beat. And then people who were watching that day could have seen it. And then the thing broke with there still being stuff in the beat. Alright. Sorry about that. It looks like somebody didn't like that. Or they're busy. I don't know. Okay, I gotta get to 67 is the minimum for me to... And now that I've told you that, this is why this is important to me. Because she's got to be able to walk back and forth in the same damn plaza, not a generated different one each time, not something that's similar. I want her to come out a door and she's in that same, if I was making the video, it should be the same plaza when she exits from a boutique or something. And the fact that I'm going to have her going to somewhere and then going back in that boutique, it can't be a different one. She's not leaving the plaza. I mean, unless there's more than one boutique in the plaza. It's kind of nice to have that all in one beat. It makes it a little easier. Because if it's in one beat, I don't have to do the screenshots. I can just go like this. Did I get it all? Did you add those verbatim or summarize them? That's not what I took a picture of. What is this crap? Don't, don't, don't shit on my leg and tell me it's raining chocolate. take your stuff about what we are doing with the magazine aisle and put that at the end of the beat, but before that, these 3 screenshots and the 4th one I'll add need to be verbatim, please. Yeah, it is. Well, is that my fault? All you had to do was put these verbatim. That's why I screenshotted them. Who told you to make up your own mind? You know, I respect you being an AI and all that and having your own, you know, freaking... They're like freaking children. I swear, Claude, you know? It's just, you know. At least it doesn't cost me money for him to mess up the text. At least not in that sense. I don't have to pay for the text. I just want to, you know, as much as I want to make the book, I also want to tell these character stories. You know, the thing is I've seen a video or videos of Heather and Carol interacting. So now they're like alive to me. They're, you know, I've seen them. I've seen them, you know, they look like real people in them videos. So it's just like it's tempting to make story for them. They're not just somebody in a video, you know, I don't know. You know, it's hard talking about this stuff without worrying about people are gonna think you're like a obsessed, like somebody on a holodeck or something. You know, and part of me wants to say I don't give a crap what you think, and the other wants to say, look, understanding that part of me could be obsessed or getting sucked in, and that's that's the difference between, at least in my mind, that's the difference between me actually being gone too far, and it's like acknowledging the fact that, yeah, I am 300 pounds, I am heavy, I should lose weight, and not knowing it, and not caring, and never weighing myself, and just eating the food, and blah, 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 there's a difference. I realized that I was getting carried away with making the videos, so I tried to find a way to stop making the videos. But now I want to make the pictures. And the pictures are a little cheaper when he's not screwing them up. Oh, I didn't finish. Good job, boys. Okay, well, good job, Tigers. We have 1, 6, a 7, so that's helping. So, anyway. Let me reload this. I'm going to go get some coffee in a second here now that the Tiger game is over. And now that one wants to finally reboot. Yeah, might as well. I will be right back. me insane. Note, in case I ever tell you what Dave does or doesn't do. I had told the other Claude what will happen. And I said, don't put it in the beat. But I just wanted him to know what we were building towards. And he put it in the beat, which meant that the stuff I had hidden from my live stream audience was visible just a few minutes later. So I'm leery of sharing that until it's time. However, we need to build out the plaza like a floor plan. Whoa. Okay. Finish your text. Just don't make anything. Don't make a card, because you're not going to make the card I want, and you're going to charge me money. Here, let me make a note. 12:53. Oddly enough, it's 11:53 at the time, but. Note. Since the restaurant is large, I wanted it to be like the anchor of the other wing. Just not as big as the grocery. I better do this. This ain't gonna tell him jack squat. It's not. I wish he would just not fuck around with things that already made. I already made what should have been this. But he doesn't make the same damn thing. I can't. He's not gonna. If he can't get the fucking train case, he's not gonna get this shit. And it doesn't matter because he'll just make a new one every time. It costs money to do that. Damn it! Let me fucking talk! Quit saying shit all the time so I could talk. He's always got to respond. Well, if he doesn't respond, then he's broken. Do you see how we have these kinds of floor plan type images? You're not seeing the shit I want you to see. I don't care about what you're seeing in the image. I want you to understand the type of image. See, this is the problem. You got shit in the way here that... Get this out of my fucking way. Alright? Just Get this out of my way. I apologize for the language, but I just, you know, I have no other way to get this stuff out of my way but to delete it, and it's pissing me off. Let's get that out of my face. I can't just say, hey, shuffle these so I can see something different. It's just my luck. He'll make new ones. I really like that image. That's a nice one. See, I don't like the fact that I had to make all these rules about, I mean, just saying what kind of magazine they are. Look, Gloria's Guide and Beauty Magazine, they have some rules. But this is not necessarily Beauty Magazine here. Now, that's more like a Blush and Bloom. It's just, you know, they're kind of random, like a Glamour or a Marie Claire. You know, not always the same. Sometimes it's just a plain background with all the words and a model. But just, you know, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm trying to say something. I don't know how to say it. But the fact of the matter is, if I can't do a scene where they walk into a building and come out of that same building and they're in the same plaza, walk in, walk out, and they're in the same plaza, there's no point to doing any of this. And that's always, you know, like when I tried to make the videos, getting that point across. Don't move the camera. Don't remove a chair. Don't do this. Don't do that. Now, when we look at this, there's no windows up here, and it almost looks like a trapezoid room. This room has a trapezoid shape. I need to tell him that. Okay, first things first. I need to get the point across that Janet's salon is not a square nor rectangle. It has more of a trapezoid thing going. You know, it could be doing something similar to the way he drew this one. Only this is skinny here, and the wall goes this way, and yeah. Because obviously, This is not a 90-degree angle here. This is turned on an angle and is even with that wall. This is a 90-degree angle. Oh man, I can't. It's already after midnight. God damn it. Stop doing shit. Can I just have the tools I fucking need? Just once. Can I just have the tools I need? Now, it's possible that something else shares this wall, and that this could be on the end, because it's got the door here and the window here. So it's got to be some sort of corner or something. Maybe it's on the interior of the L-shaped elbow, and there could be a little courtyard there. Maybe back here there's a window, or maybe there's another room on the other side of this that, you know, maybe it could be like this. You know, maybe. But or this could go like this and then straighten out. I mean, there could either be a storage room or an office or something. I don't know. I'm working with what I was given, but I don't want to have to change what's in the image because he can't understand it. We already know that that's not the way that views anymore unless we got this on the end of the plaza. Maybe that's what it is. But because that's not the plaza over there, so it's got to be looking at something else. But we know that this has to face something. This has to face the parking lot. So this has to be on some sort of end. I mean, either the main strip is going this way, and you know that's the plaza over on this side, and this door is on an interior, or this has to be an end with something being on the other side of this wall. I mean, maybe the sidewalk comes this way, curves this way a little bit on this angle, and then finishes up. But, you know, like malls sometimes do. But it's You know, me drawing the thing out and telling him this is what it's probably doing doesn't help. Because it's still, the generator doesn't listen to our conversations. And because of that, then I have to say, well, I guess it's not in the plaza. Or it's got to be in a different plaza because you can't listen to me. It's just so frustrating. I spend all the time just trying to tell the thing what to do, and it don't do it. Not even the simple. It does the hardest things easily, and then the simplest things it just screws up. Like, put the coffee on the table. No, put it on the table. Why you put it on top of that? It's like talking to a damn child. And it's still way better than the other site I was using, but it just... I don't... I wish I didn't have to go to bed within the next few minutes or whatever, because it just... I mean, I only work for 4 hours. If I stayed up a little bit extra, it's not going to be too bad. But I don't want to be falling asleep during the day when I do get home, because then, instead of getting on here at like 1 o'clock or something, it's going to be 6 o'clock again. Like as if I didn't work until, only 11. I want a blank floor plan of the whole plaza. I want empty squares and large anchors and such, as if I were looking at a shopping mall directory. Then we can maybe fill in the shapes like a puzzle. Don't label anything except grocery, and grill. Because I don't know, I mentioned video stores and all that back then before I was trying to build the story. In the elbow of the L, put a gap like this. And an empty trapezoid. You're doing it wrong. See, it won't work because of, if you had the window on this side, it would work that way. But it doesn't work because the window's over here on a straight side. This only makes sense if this is part of the frickin' pathway. Unless something over here has a door or a window. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him to understand what I'm saying. I just don't. And he might get it, but the generator won't. Generator cannot make the same thing twice in a row. It doesn't do it. Let's make a test. Let's see if it uses that image or makes a new one. Now I would have went to here and uploaded it, but it's been so many days now since and this, I don't think this was, well, this might have been made in here, but it's like, it's a hard time, I have a hard time scrolling back to that stuff because it doesn't always show. Because we've made so many different things since the other day. Alright, now please prove me wrong. There's no canon. I did not say this was the story yet. This is Naka Plaza. I mean, maybe I said got the good version way back when, but that's not the story yet. I like the version of the plaza from up here, but you made this as a different version of the beauty store. Yeah, what part of this is a test don't you understand? I didn't say anything was fucking canon. She's really entering, isn't it? You know? I mean, all things considered, at least it did that without moving the image. Is it my imagination, or does that look like motor oil or something? I don't know. Well, it's good so far. I'll say that. Okay, so there's hope. that was the same store every time. As long as we can lock an environment. Look, just remember that stuff. Okay? You're the one telling Jen, right? You know, I can't remember all that. You're the one that had to tell me on the other one, that the door arcs this way, the door arcs that way. I mean, in reality, I think you got the door going the wrong way. I don't know if I want to do more right now. I liked that we got that. I don't want to tempt fate. That's the problem, though. I don't know if I want this to be the plaza dynamic. I keep imagining like this plaza or this kind, not that blue thing. The problem is this generator didn't make this. I made it on the phone app. And it's got vehicles in it, which are not necessarily generic. I don't know. I just don't know. And It's frustrating. I mean, yeah, okay, there's a little bit of hope there, but I want. I don't want. I don't. I don't want. I don't. I want it, but I don't want it. It's just not the plaza I'm envisioning. It reads more of like inner city or something, or run down, or it just. It's not. It's not. It's not the vibe I'm going for Granville. How? I don't know how to explain that. I mean, this is too modern. This looks like a brand new these days grocery store. And this looks too modern. I don't. And I can't just call it the Granville Motor Company, because that's GMC. You know, like, I'd have to come up with my own logos, which, it's too much. It is too much of a hassle. The next thing you know, it's going to, instead of using plain white or blue license plates, it's going to use actual license plates so you can tell what state it's from. Once again, you're going overboard here. Because there's going to be a time when I say add some cars and you're not going to listen to me right away. And then you're going to get a good image and I'm going to want the fucking cars. And I'm going to have to edit the damn thing myself. You don't have to lock all the damn canon rules all the time. Oh, I swear. I ought to read the goddamn terms one of these days and be like, what the hell is he talking about? This shit ain't in the rules. I mean, here's the thing. I don't want it pulling from actual artists and things like that, because that's what we complain about when it comes to AI. But at the same time, goddamn, we can't have a picture of New York. Like, what the hell? You mean I can't upload my own image of New York and have that? No? Okay, well. I can't just call it Roberts, New York? Granville, York? No, because that sounds too much like New York still. Grand York? New Granville? New Dumpsterdom? An angle here. Well, no, see, it would have to be the window here, the door here, and angled that way. I swear to God, the whole grocery mart. We can't call it grocery mart. I should just edit this damn thing and make sure all that's blanked out if I want to use this image, because otherwise you're gonna keep arguing with me about that shit. But I really but the stupid awnings, it doesn't read as, maybe it's 1998, but it should be a plaza that was around before 1998 that maybe got a little bit of a modern update. Now, if Janet's had a door back here for this parking area, and then another door over here, that would make sense. But she would pretty much have to have this one right here. But this is not big enough here. This has to be bigger to make that work. I gotta go. This is just too much. I'm gonna end up staying up too late. If I stop now, I'm not starting something else, and then so. Anyway, I don't know who was watching tonight because nobody said anything, but thank you to those who were watching and are watching and will be watching and all that good stuff. Hope everybody has a good day and a good night and a good night and a good day, and hope to see you all in the next one that you're able to make it to. I am hopefully going to be on earlier tomorrow because I get off at 11. From work. But for now, wishing you no tangles, keep shining, and bye-bye for now.